Hello, 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 party. Well, it's your girl, Stevie Aisha Mills. I am super duper uber excited today because, honey, we have the conversation. You know, each and every week we come with you on a journey of just understanding the why behind the what of so many people who we are able to connect with. And I am even more excited because this young lady is truly taking her life to the next level, and not only is she taking her life to the next level, she's taking her brand to the next level without anybody stopping her, and I love people like that. So she is blessing me by being a sponsor for Experience DMV, and so guess what? Without any further ado, I'm going to welcome my great sister friend. We're fast friends. I claimed her, y'all. My great sister friend, Tikeya Lawrence, to the platform. Tikeya, can you hear me?
Yes, hello. I'm here.
Yeah, I'm so excited. So do me a favor and introduce yourself to all of the amazing people who are listening today.
So I am Tikeya Lawrence. I also go by Tikeya Empowers, and I have a new brand that's fairly new. It's Love M.E.E. LLC, and the M.E.E. is M.E.E. for motivation, empowerment, and encouragement. My mission is to have us as women focus on putting ourselves first and loving ourselves first and making sure that we're number one in our life, health, and happiness, because oftentimes we do so much for others and take care of everybody else, and we get put on the back burner or we neglect our needs. So I'd like to bring those thoughts back to the forefront of our minds to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and doing what we need to do for ourselves and our lives, our health, and our happiness.
That's awesome. And so I know, because we've had conversations, that you have an amazing just part of your heart about helping people. You do that in all aspects of your life. So talk to us. Give us some background information about that and how your career has turned into your business and how you still maintain the standard of helping people.
Okay, so I am a nationally registered paramedic, and I first became an EMT, which is a little lower level than a paramedic, back in 1997, right out of high school. I actually was able to do a half-a-day program where I attended school in the morning, and then in the evening I attended my EMT program. So I got my EMT certification in 97, right after graduating high school, and then I was hired on the DC Fire and EMS department in 2 years later in 1999, and 2 years after being there, I became a paramedic because they offered the training. So I've been a paramedic since 2002. And, of course, as you know, that field is something where you are definitely always helping people in their highest of moments in emergency situations. And while they are not always an emergency, I had to learn over the years that you can't define what an emergency is for a person. So when people call, we just go and we assist and we help. But working for the D.C. government, there were some things politically and just for my future that I wanted to do differently. So I resigned from there at the end of the year. In December 2016, I resigned and I stepped into full-time entrepreneurship. So while being a paramedic, though, I've had a history in real estate investing. I have a travel business, and now the new brand, which keeps me busy and I'm excited about so that I can continue to help and give back and pour into others, because being a paramedic is definitely what you do day in and day out. And that's something that I did not want to give up, and I didn't want to totally not do anymore. I just wanted to kind of think of another way of doing it. And I am still a nationally registered paramedic and also a CPR instructor. So I will have those licenses. It's just a matter of keeping them up, and I plan to do that for several years, another 5 years or so. And I am going to be doing some volunteer work.
You grow, girl. Not even go. You grow. And I'm excited because that is absolutely phenomenal, right? I just always get excited when people utilize their professional background to create a brand that stands the test of time. And so I get very excited about that because so many people don't know how to leverage. They don't know how to leverage their opportunity. And so you talked about all the phenomenal things that you've done in your career and your life, and you've now wrapped it up in a pretty package that is your brand. And that is amazing. And I know that a lot of times as a new entrepreneur, it can be a crazy road. It can be a crazy road. I understand that well. I have not been that far removed. And so let's talk about being a new entrepreneur. Let's talk about some of the hurdles in which you have had to just look in the face and keep it moving.
Oh, wow. So you caught me at a good time, right where I am really, really accepting and acknowledging and seeing the fullness of this transition phase. So, wow, and it's so interesting and so funny, and I'm like, oh, wow. But I'm trusting God, and I'm hanging in there, and I'm like, I'm just going to keep going. But of course, I was used to getting a check every 2 weeks, and so now that that's changed, financially, which is probably I wouldn't say it's the biggest thing because I've actually come to some realization about other things as well, but finances is definitely a big part of it. So I've had to do things a little differently financially. I am blessed to have a wonderful husband who is helping to support this transition. He actually transitioned out of his job about 3 years ago, so he understands and he was supportive of it, and he is supporting me through this. So we are making it work, thank God. But the mental aspect of it as well was something that I did not really think about totally. I was interacting with people daily a lot. Like, D.C. is one of the very busy cities as far as emergency calls, and people can call literally for anything, and you have to go. So we have a lot of calls, and over the last, I would say, maybe 5 to 7 or 8 years, D.C. has changed. It's changed a lot. I was originally born and raised in D.C., so it's changed a lot, whereas there are a lot more visitors, there are more jobs and people. There are a lot of people in the city. So it increased the call volume a lot. So I was seeing people a lot. I was interacting with my coworkers. I was interacting with people at the hospital, and just being out, because that's a position where you're out. You're not just sitting in a cubicle or in a building or behind a desk. You're out and you're about. So that interaction and that I do really miss, and I did not realize or think about how it was going to affect me till now when I'm in it. But again, I'm making it work, and I get out to the gym. I'm going to start volunteering and doing some other things and just finding some other ways so that I am putting myself back out, and communicating and seeing and interacting with people, because I do definitely miss that. So I am taking that in and keeping it going and going, just walking this entrepreneurial walk, and, again, trusting God to guide the way and get me through.
Girl, yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's funny because now that you're on this side of entrepreneurship, I can almost guarantee, even though it's a bit probably nerving and scary and all those things that come up with words, I bet you are happier, right, and excited, right? Doesn't it feel good?
Yeah.
Go ahead and
Definitely. Definitely. Like, as much as, again, I love helping people, which I'm going to continue to do, and I knew that would be something that I would miss. And I was like, I have to continue to help people. That that's what makes me happy, helping people. So I have to continue whatever I do to help people in some capacity. So I already knew that was, definitely something that I had to do. It's just a matter of getting everything in position and transitioning, as I said. But I think that the biggest thing for me is just making sure that I do get myself out there because, again, that is what makes me happy, helping people. And, I don't, again, the only part I miss is the interaction with people and helping people. So as long as I can just pick that back up, at a good pace or get in a good place and space with that, I will be A-okay. And definitely, yes, happy. Those long hours, we work 12-hour shifts, and then we switch to 24-hour shifts, and sometimes you don't get relieved on time, and sometimes you get on another call or just other things that you have to deal with. No, I'm definitely happy. I don't regret it. I would not go back. I would still do paramedic work in a certain capacity, but I would not go back to that position at all.
Wow. And so with that, really talks about the fact that you just took a plunge, and thank goodness, that you've had family support. That's a blessing as well. And so the thing that I know for sure is that when you continue this journey, I was just talking to someone earlier about this. When you continue the journey, it's amazing because when you get comfortable on this, whatever the next level is, girl, that feeling doesn't go away, that you still have to ascend to another level, right? And so even though the journey is still you still going to get those butterflies. It's going to lessen because you're going to get used to it. But whenever there's a new level to go to, you're still going to get them. And that's what keeps life exciting, I think. That's what keeps life going back. And it's funny because I've heard it said like this, a lot of times we as women have had multiple boyfriends, but we didn't quit on men,
Right.
It keeps going. And so that is exciting that you are in a position to take your brand and your business and really assist with people. I know you told us a bit about what you're doing, but tell us fully about your brand. Tell us who would be a good referral? Even if it's not for us, who are your ideal people that you want to be connected to your business?
Okay, so I first of all, let me say and give a shout out to you because when I seen the whole I Love My Life ambassadors and group, I was like, oh, this is perfect. So I'm so thankful for being connected to you and the group and everyone. So that definitely has been a blessing for me.
Thank you.
I do have some other people that I admire. I admire Lisa Nichols. I love my girl Sade while I do. Let's see. I am starting to follow Lucinda Cross. Let's see. There's a few others, but there are a lot of great entrepreneurs out here that are getting things done, and hopefully I'll just get to, cross paths and as the Lord sees fit for me to connect or be connected with different people, because part of me, too, I'm in a place where I'm really trying to make sure I'm doing what God would have me to be doing and being connected and in position and in places where God would see me fit. And whatever his will is for my life, because you know how they say we make our plans, but the Lord is the one really in charge. So I'm really wanting to make sure that I'm on that page with being in God's will. So you never know who I may cross paths with and be connected with, but there are definitely a lot of people out there that I admire.
Amen. And you said something pivotal there. You were talking about two of my absolute favorite people in the whole wide world. Sade Wadu, shouts out to her. And also, shouts out to Lucinda Cross. These women are dynamic. And thank you for talking about I Love My Life Ambassadors, even in the same sentence of those, because I do look up to them as well. They're beautiful, and they're just amazing. So it is something to be said to just really understand that you got to, and it's easy to connect with them. It's easy to connect with people because we all are just ascending to the next level. And so having those worthwhile relationships have always been part for my course. I always try to connect with the game changers so that some of that could rub off on me. So you are doing great things, and you truly are in a position where, you know, someone from who will be on the call in just a little while from now will say, Tikeya Lawrence, that's my girl. She kept going, and I had to follow her. So shouts out to her. People are going to say that, and I know it's true.
Amen. Like, amen, I received that.
It is coming. It is coming really sooner than you think, because your heart is good, and you're just such a beautiful person who I'm excited to see on the beginning of entrepreneurship, because what happens is that those who have been in the game a little while, we kind of forget that freshness, right? We forget that first step. Like, I just took the plunge and left my job. Like, that's a huge moment. I remember when I did that, and girl, it was a scary thing. It was real scary. And I was just like, what's going to happen next? What do I do? How do I put this together? What is going on? What do I do? Can I call my job back and say I want to do, like, all these different thoughts? And I think people sometimes forget that we've gone through these things. Like, it's not far-fetched that we all went through this. And so even though a lot of people have these big, beautiful brands now, we all had to take the first step one by one, right? And that's how we elevated. So definitely am excited about just welcoming you to the phenomenal world of entrepreneurship. And I will tell you, you know, just keep going. You'll find a whole lot of stuff. I always say entrepreneurship was the best personal development anything that I've done.
I can believe that. Yes. I can believe that, because the Lord is stressing me.
Yes.
You gotta be strong. You gotta have some faith. You gotta know what you know that you know that you know, because it can get to you. But I'm just hanging in there. I'm hanging in there, and I thank you for your encouragement and advice and just always helping. Again, the platform you put together is amazing for people like me and just others who want to have that connection and circle and encouragement in their lives on this journey.
Thank you. It's funny because the book, Cultivating Your It Factor, is really the book I wanted to have whenever I was stuck on that job, didn't know what the next thing to do. And so I Love My Life Ambassadors was the community that I wanted to have, because I remember I'm not that far gone where it's like, I need some help. I need some people who are on the same level as me. Y'all talking this, and you've done this, and been on this stage. I get that, and shouts out to you, but I'm right here today. And so really understanding that and saying it's okay to be right there, because tomorrow I won't be. You know, we just have to remember. And sometimes it's hard for people. Like, I've been in the game, full-time entrepreneur, praise Jesus, since 2009. And so
wow.
that's like a while. And it went by really, really quickly, and I'm still at the beginning of some stuff. Like, there's some people who are light years beyond where I am, but I think for us it's kind of hard to remember those beginning stages. So the women who are in the trenches with you, and many of them who are in the program, they're right on par with what you're doing. Like, it's very good because they're right there. They can see it because y'all are at the same vantage point. And so I always tell people, I'm like, I don't remember 101. Like, I don't remember it until somebody tells me. I'm like, wow, they really don't know. And it's a different point of, like, not that you don't want better, you know, as a beginner, you just don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And I think it's always good to go back and be like, oh, my goodness, this is so phenomenal. Like, I'm glad I learned this. And really starting on a strong platform and a strong launching pad. That's what it is. Like, building a foundation that is so strong right now in the beginning stages is going to change the game of your business. And I think that's just amazing. I kind of fell into entrepreneurship. I didn't really plan to be an entrepreneur. I did. And so, you know, this is the life that God created. I did not plan to be an entrepreneur at all. Like, 90% of what I do in life is not a planned situation as far as business. Like, even we were talking earlier about travel before we got on the recording and stuff. One of the things I know for sure is that travel in and of itself, I didn't even plan to do that. God said, Stevie, this makes sense. And so entrepreneurship, when I took that first step, and prayerfully this will help you and help, you know, everybody listening, when I took that first step, I was scared. I had been in school all my life. So being an entrepreneur that's not what you go to school for. The next logical job, and I say this a lot, in speaking engagements, the next logical job thing is to get a job. And so it's like, what? Stevie, you want to do what? And I was looking at myself saying, what? So I always imagine myself being in New York in somebody's PR office, you know, like, so living this life here and being an entrepreneur, that was something that God created. So I do understand, like, there are people in this world who, like, I'm groomed to be a business owner and I want to do this and I took this business. No. This was the school of hard knocks basically over here. I learned my way, and I think, like, I had incredible mentors, still have them, incredible coaches, still have them, incredible people who I just listen to, and I'm still in the trenches at my level. I'm still in the trenches. I believe that school is never out for the pro, and maybe because I spent so much time in a classroom, that's just the way I learn. And so for me, I buy courses and classes. I invest my way to the next level because it's true. You've got to understand that it's not far-fetched for you to do that. You don't know what you don't know. But I think a lot of times people get confused in that. And so I'm really, really, really proud of you in the fact that you left out here and said, oh, my goodness. Like Steve Harvey says, jump. You jumped into this thing of, and we don't know what entrepreneurship looks like a lot of times because not many people are entrepreneurs in our families. Like, I was blessed. My daddy was a musician and had been one all my life. So I was able to see kind of, but my mom held down a job for a long time. So I had the best of both worlds. But as far as an example, a lot of people don't have that in their family. So, you know, you are doing things. I always think about Octavius Pelzer when I say you are a unicorn, definitely, because a lot of people, we're in the minority of thought because folks are like, why go out and build your business? You better work that job. You know, it's a minority of thought. So I want to give you the opportunity to truly just talk to the people. Like, if you saw somebody, I know you're very still fresh in this new track of your life, but there are people who are on their jobs who are just like, I can't stand it. Much like me. I was like, I hate it here. I didn't know what to do. And so I want you to talk to those people who are like that and truly just say whatever is on your heart to them.
Okay, so I actually was getting to that point of literally like hating, and I never had a problem with the patients that I dealt with. It was more the management and coworkers and those things that really, really made me to start to despise it. And I wanted to leave because I didn't want it to progress. And then I felt that way about the patients. Those people are in need, number one. Number two, I just didn't want to get to that point because that's not the mission and the purpose of the job in general. So I didn't want to get to that point. So I had to leave, basically. And I think for people who may be experiencing that, you just have to really make a decision for yourself and for your life. I couldn't have done it without God and building my faith and my courage and all of that being worked on. I couldn't have done it without that. But it is a decision that you do have to make because, one, which I'm big on health, you cannot go and be in an environment every day that you hate. And that's just not healthy. You don't know how it's going to show out when you're dealing with other people in your workplace or when you're doing your work, how it may affect your work, how it may affect your home life, and just your health in general. It's not good for your health. Just to feel that those feelings, those bad feelings, that's just not healthy. It's just not good. I mean, what people I don't know how many people know it, but statistically, more heart attacks are had on Monday mornings than any other time and any other day. More heart attacks happen on Monday mornings, and they've attributed it to people getting up and going to work Monday after that weekend and dealing with the stress of traffic and just the gloominess of having to go into work. That's facts and statistics, and it's very unfortunate. And no one should really live that way. Like, you don't have to live that way. Like, even if it is switching to another job or stepping out into entrepreneurship, you have to make a decision that's best for your life. And again, I'm for health, and I'm also about you being number one in your life, health, and happiness. And you have to make a decision for your life. And if it means that you step out there, do what you got to do to prepare and plan and take that leap. Step out there. If anything, you're as you said, Stevie, it teaches you so much. You learn so much being in this space as an entrepreneur, if that's your calling, or if that's your next move, or if that's what you want to do. You learn so much, and as I said earlier on the call, I'm learning so much. Like, I didn't even realize how. I mean, I think I knew that I liked being out and interacting with people, but I didn't realize that I was going to miss it as much as I do. I'm having to be more dependent. Even though I've been married 6 years, I'm having to be so much more dependent on my husband, which probably is definitely making an impact to us having a better marriage. So you just never know what the journey is going to bring for you, and I would definitely not. I wouldn't ignore it, and I wouldn't knock it down, or I wouldn't think that it's impossible. I would definitely make the decision and follow through with it. There's so many resources and so much out here that you just never know. As you said, Stevie, you fell into entrepreneurship. It was not your plan. You kind of fell into it, but look at how successful you've become and everything that you're doing. Like, and it's because it's possible. It could happen. So I just would say, be encouraged. Do whatever it is that you would need to make a decision, making the best decision for your life, your health, and your happiness, because walking around disgruntled, mad, hating, feeling hate and angry, that's not good at all for your life, health, or your happiness. That's not a good thing at all. It's so funny, when I left, like, I had to turn in all of my equipment and my uniforms, everything I had over those 17 years, which was quite a bit. It literally felt like I took off a jumpsuit, like I had been released from prison. And I just was like, oh, my goodness, I really have done this to myself. I have let myself feel in bondage like this. Like, I was a little upset with myself. Like, I cannot believe you did that to yourself. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, I really felt like I had shed a jumpsuit or which technically, when I look back now, it is like that was 17 years of my life. I started there when I was 20 years old. They watched me grow up. They watched me grow up to the point of where I am now at 38. So it was a bit much, but I had to make a decision, and I had to follow through, and I don't regret it, and I'm on this journey, and I'm thankful and grateful.
Girl, honey, woo, you preached that. I can't wait to experience DMV. I'll be running, girl, because You said, people know I'll take off my cute little shoes and my style strategist, Latanya Matt, shouts out to her. She keeps
I know that's right.
I will take them out. That's why I always have to, when you see my flops, don't worry about it. It's okay. I'll be cute from my ankles up. But but it's so funny because I always tell people that Monday statistic because that's why we release the show on Mondays at midnight. Because as soon as it turns Monday, I want people hearing positivity. That's why we have people like you coming on the platform and saying, because what you said is so true. That is the statistic. And I was like, the devil is a lie. I'm going to do my part. I don't know where God is going to take this show, but I'm going to do my part to make sure that in 2017 people are engaged in the process. And he's allowed me to do countless numbers of interviews every Monday. So God is, you tell him what you want to do, and he'll tell you what you're going to do. So
that's right.
So I'm excited, girl. Y'all better get to Experience DMV. We might have to release some more tickets because I feel like it's going to be a packed out house. Something is happening in the D.C. area, and I'm so excited to be part of it. And so one of the things that we know for sure is that Tikeya will be in the building. What? And we are so
I
thankful.
will.
Definitely tell people in the meantime how they can connect with you so that you can truly tell them what you do. If they need a one-on-one, they just need some of your wisdom. How can they connect with you?
So currently my website is under construction. Hopefully that will be taken care of in the next week or so. But I do have an email list that you can definitely hop on and stay connected with me. I am on social media. To get on my email list, I have a bit.ly link. It is bit.ly/I love me first to get on the email list. I am on social media as Tikeya Empowered. I have a group of women on Facebook. It's the Love Me Circle, and it's a circle of positivity. 200 women, positive women. We share, motivate, empower, encourage each other. So that's definitely available. And I have the business page, Love M.E.E. LLC. So I am in any of those places or areas, and you can connect with me again at the bit.ly link, bit.ly/I love me first.
Yes, bit.ly/I love me first, honey. Not last, yes. First. You better, that's prophetic, too. You better speak that, girl. So,
well, as a paramedic, for years we're always taught to do safety first. Before you do anything, safety first. And it makes sense. Like, I can't go in and help you if I'm not helping myself, or if I'm a mess or I'm broke down. Like, I can't do nothing for you. I'm just as bad as you. And oftentimes in that field, I've seen a lot of people, women, because that's how we are. We're natural nurturers, and that's what we do. And I've seen a lot of women trying to take care.
I think we lost Tikeya, but the point she was making was valid, guys. We try to take care of everybody first, but we need to take care of us first. So go to bit.ly/I love me first. And so, again, this has been your girl, Stevie Aisha Mills and Tikeya Lawrence. Oh, my gosh, if you are not going to be at Experience DMV, you better get there. It's going to be July 21st. You just go to www.stevie.com, and we have a link there to direct you to Experience. So STEVII is how you spell my first name. And me and Tikeya will see you there. Hugs and love. Stay connected with me. All my social media is at stevie.com as well. So make it a great day, guys. Don't just have a great day. Make it a great day. Why? Because you, and yes, you too, Hunty, deserve it. Bye.